In the village of Okoa, everyone feared the house on the hill. It stood alone, looming over the village like a silent, hungry giant. Its wood was rotting, its windows empty and black. No one dared approach it. The elders called it a place of sorrow, haunted by a restless spirit. They told stories of strange lights and cries in the night. The children listened, terrified. The house was a warning, always to be avoided. The paint had long since peeled away, leaving only gray, weathered wood. The roof sagged, and a twisted tree stood in the yard, its branches like bony fingers. The villagers said the tree held the tears of those lost inside. On full moon nights, its shadow stretched down the hill, pointing at the village. Long ago, a family lived there, happy until a sickness came. One by one, they vanished. Not dead, just gone. The village searched, but found only an empty cold house. No one ever lived there again. The house became a tomb, a place where happiness died. The elders warned the house was hungry, always waiting for new souls. Villagers avoided the hill, even if it meant a longer walk. They never looked at the house after dark. They taught their children, don't point at the house after dark. They taught their children, don't point at the house. Don't speak its name at night. Don't listen to the wind from the hill. The house was more than a building. It was a monster. A nightmare, always watching, waiting for someone to get too curious. Its legend grew with every passing year. The house was a shadow over Okoa, a secret everyone feared. No one dared test its hunger. The rules were simple: stay away, stay safe. The rules are easy to break. Especially for those who don't believe in monsters, the house waited, patient and silent. It watched the village, year after year after year. It remembered every soul it had taken, and it was always ready for the next. The villagers could only hope it would never be them, but the house never forgot, and it never forgave. Curiosity is dangerous. 5 friends, Maya, Leo, Chloe, Ben, and Sam, came to Okoa. They heard the stories, saw the villagers' fear, but felt only excitement. The haunted house was a challenge. Leo scoffed, it's just an old house. Stories aren't real. Sam grinned, imagine what we'll find. Maya, the careful leader, insisted, we need flashlights, ropes, and we stick together. Agreed? They all nodded, but promises are easy in daylight. That night they gathered at the hill's base. The moon was thin, the house a black shape against the sky. The wind whispered through the grass. Ben hesitated. This feels wrong. Chloe squeezed his shoulder. We'll be fine, but her voice shook. Sam pushed ahead. Come on. Think of the story we'll tell. One by one, they followed, flashlights cutting through the dark. The house grew larger with every step, its windows staring down. Silence pressed in, broken only by their footsteps and pounding hearts. They were walking into the monster's mouth. None of them knew what waited inside. The adventure felt less like a game, more like a test. The house seemed to swallow the light around them. Shadows stretched, and the air grew colder. Still, they pressed on, drawn by curiosity and bravado. The village lights faded behind them. The house loomed closer than ever. They reached the door, breathless and uncertain. For a moment, no one moved. Then Sam stepped forward, hand on the door. Ready? He whispered. The others nodded, fear and excitement mingling in their eyes. The house seemed to lean closer, listening. The night was silent, waiting. With a deep breath, they pushed open the door. The darkness inside swallowed them whole. The adventure had begun, and the house was ready. It had been waiting for this moment, for them. The front door groaned open, releasing a wave of cold, musty air. The friends stepped inside, flashlights trembling in their hands. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling, dust coated every surface. A grand staircase disappeared into darkness. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind them. Leo rushed back, but it wouldn't budge. We're trapped, he whispered. The word echoed in the heavy silence. Their adventure had turned real and dangerous. They moved as a group, searching for another exit. In the living room, old furniture sat under white sheets like ghosts. A huge fireplace yawned against one wall. Then, above them, a slow, heavy creak. Footsteps. They froze, staring at the ceiling. The steps moved from one side to the other, then stopped. Silence. "Who's up there?" Ben whispered. No answer. The house was supposed to be empty. But they all heard the footsteps. Maya's flashlight caught a shadow in the corner. She spun. Maya's flashlight caught a shadow in the corner. She spun, but saw only an empty chair. The house was playing with them. It wanted them to know they were not alone. Fear settled over the group. The house creaked and groaned, alive with secrets. Every sound felt like a warning. The friends huddled closer, realizing the stories might be true. The house was watching, and it was just getting started. Their courage began to crack. The real nightmare had begun. Fear thickened the air. The friends moved down a long, dark hallway lined with shadowy portraits. Suddenly, a cold wind swept through, snuffing out Chloe's flashlight. The wind carried a whisper, sad, impossible to understand, but chilling. Doors slammed shut all at once, echoing like thunder. They screamed. Ben dropped his flashlight. Shadows danced wildly. In the spinning light, Maya glimpsed a tall, thin figure at the end of the hall. Then it was gone. "Did you see that?" she cried. Leo shook his head, but his voice trembled. "Let's find a window and get out." The house felt alive, angry. Whispers grew louder, closer, like a child crying for its mother. The friends realized this was no ordinary haunting. The house wanted them to stay. Panic set in. Every step felt like a trap. The darkness pressed closer. The house was closing in. In the dining room, a table was set for a meal never eaten. As they searched for a window, a woman's voice drifted from upstairs. A lullaby, haunting and sad. The melody pulled at them, beautiful but full of pain. Maya warned, "Don't listen. It's a trick." But Sam was transfixed, drawn toward the staircase. "She sounds so lonely," he whispered, moving as if in a dream. Chloe tried to stop him, but he didn't hear. Sam walked into the main hall and began to climb the stairs. Leo and Ben rushed after him, but an invisible force threw them back. Sam kept climbing, vanishing into the darkness above. The singing stopped. Silence fell, heavier than before. The friends stared at the empty staircase, fear gripping their hearts. Sam was gone. The house had claimed him. The group was broken. The house's hunger was real. They realized escape was no longer just about bravery. It was about survival. The house was in control, and it wasn't finished with them yet. The nightmare deepened. Silence filled the house, thick and suffocating. "Sam?" Maya called, but there was no answer. The friends rushed upstairs, searching every room. Bedrooms, a child's room, empty spaces. Sam was nowhere. The air grew icy. Their breath fogged in the flashlight beams. The house groaned, shadows twisted into unnatural shapes. Ben glimpsed a screaming face in the wallpaper, gone when he looked again. Panic took over. "We have to get out," Leo shouted. They ran for the stairs, only to find a solid wall where the staircase had been. No way down. The house had sealed them in. The friends were trapped, fear turning to terror. The house was no longer just haunted. It was alive, and it was angry. Every door felt like a dead end. Every shadow threatened to swallow them. The house's hunger was growing. They realized they might never leave. The legend was real. The house wanted them all. And it was closing in, fast. Trapped on the second floor, panic turned to terror. Chloe sobbed. Ben stared in disbelief. The house groaned. The temperature dropped, frost forming on the windows. Maya shouted, The windows. Break them. Leo smashed at the glass, but it wouldn't crack. Every window was unbreakable. The house was changing the rules. Doors slammed, portraits twisted into screaming faces. Whispers turned angry, calling their names. Shadowy figures darted at the edge of their vision. The house raged, shaking the floor, dust raining from the ceiling. The friends huddled together, surrounded by chaos. The house's hatred was palpable. It wanted to keep them, just like Sam. The friends realized escape was slipping away. The house was a storm of supernatural fury. Every second it grew stronger. Their hope faded. The house was winning, and it would not let go easily. In the chaos, Maya remembered the tree outside. Its branch reached close to a window at the hall's end. Their only chance. The tree. "Follow me," she shouted. They fought through slamming doors and angry whispers to the last room. The window there was cracked, forgotten by the house. Leo and Ben forced it open, fresh air rushing in. The branch was close, a bridge to freedom. Leo climbed out first, barely catching the branch. One by one, the others followed. Maya last. A shadowy hand reached from the darkness, missing her ankle by inches. They scrambled down the tree, ignoring scrapes and bruises. When their feet hit the ground, they ran down the hill, away from the house. Behind them, a terrible shriek echoed from the broken window. They didn't look back. They ran until the village lights appeared. They were safe, but not all of them. Sam was still inside. The house had claimed him. The friends collapsed in the village, shaken and changed. The house watched from the hill, angry and unsatisfied. Its hunger was not sated. The legend had a new chapter. The house was still waiting. The survivors stumbled into Ocoa, terrified and broken. They told the villagers everything. The slamming doors, the cold, the voice that called to Sam. The elders listened, unsurprised. The story spread quickly. The four friends left Ocoa the next day, never to return. But their tale remained. The house's legend grew darker. It was no longer just haunted, it was hungry. Sam's name became a warning, whispered to frightened children. The villagers built their homes farther from the hill. Some claimed to see a new light in the upstairs window. Sam's light. The house waited, watching the village below. Its windows remained black, but its secrets grew. No one knew what happened to Sam. Did he join the lost family? Was he now a whisper in the hall? No one dared find out. The house kept its secret, and it waited for the next curious soul. The legend would never die.